Resistance, first off, it had a really cool opening credits scene. Um, Already sucks you in. The suspense in this was built up really well with the acting, with the music. I thought that that tension was built up, and then the ending just being so brutal. I wasn't expecting that, and I think it really shows how it was and how people gave their lives for a resistance, and they just continued to keep pushing and keep moving on even when things like that happened. Um, so I enjoyed that this film didn't hold back from that. I thought that the acting was great, especially, to build suspense, you need great acting, and they did a great job with that. And overall, it looked really great as well, from the costumes to the setting to the cinematography. It all looked amazing and realistic, and I, was sucked into this world. So I thought they did a really great job with that as well.
The Resistance, really interesting premise and historical storyline. Just a fascinating series of events where the tension built so brilliantly through the pacing and increased stakes. Really cinematically done as well. Great movement and framing through each sequence, pacing of the shots, and the world that was built was so well committed to by all the characters and all the actors. It was just exceptionally built and yeah, committed to, which is everything I'm looking to, especially when it is very much a life or death scenario of what feels like the parallels of good and evil.
The Resistance was so great. I've always had a fascination for World War II, especially women in World War II. It's a perspective that we don't see that much. The Resistance powerfully showed that perspective, and it did such a great job at doing so. The costumes were amazing. All the actors were amazing with their guns, and these French women are the real deal. And I loved and appreciated so much how in the credits they showed the real women, and show that this is, as unbelievable and cinematic as it may seem, this was real life to them. It did a great job at portraying that all sensitively and poignantly, and yet still it was suspenseful, tense, and what happens at the end, but every minute of it feels like, death is looming around the corner. So really great job.
The Resistance was so fantastic, and that cliffhanger was, oh, it was so good, and I was so like mad when it ended because I wanted to know what happened. But that's the sign of a really good film, because I was just so invested in the story and I wanted to find out what happened. I loved the characters in this. They were so interesting to watch and learn about, because they all had such interesting backstories. Those tense moments were like, you could hear a pin drop. It was so thick with tension, and that Nazi soldier did a great job. He had such a great performance. And just these like badass women who are wielding guns and just being these kind of like quiet, unsung heroes fighting this fight under the guise of, you know, these French women. And oh, it was so juicy. It was so good. I loved it. And then I also really loved in the credits how they had what I assume are the real people that the story was based off of. I thought that was really, really cool. Yeah, so I love this. I thought it was beautifully shot, beautifully performed, and yeah, great job. Had me from start to finish.
The Resistance. This was such an incredible short film. I always know that a short film has hit the bullseye when I want to see more, when I want to know what happens next. And that's what the filmmakers did here. They gave you such a well-rounded story, and then they left you on this cliffhanger of what was going to happen next, and it really made you want to see the next scene, the next part. So I really hope there is a Resistance Part 2. I loved the opening credits. I thought that they did such a great job with that. The filmmakers also did an amazing job giving this entire thing a 1940s feel. The look of it, those muted colors, and it was just absolutely gorgeous in the cinematography department. Your cast was fantastic. The German soldier, the actor playing him, really made you hate him. That was amazing. And everybody did such a good job. You found yourself rooting for her and hoping that the German soldier would not figure out that she was a spy. So yeah, this was a beautiful job.
A moment of resistance. This was a time where you truly had to hide who you were, and at times your life depended on it. And this is a moment where they're caught between a rock and a hard place, but they are prepared to fight and they're prepared to resist and fight the war that's in front of them. These women are strong and they hold their ground as they have backup hidden beneath the basement and outside of their home. People are just walking and minding their own business as this goes down. Period pieces are very difficult to accomplish, and bringing in on their own fair of challenges along the way, this piece is really well done, and I wanted to see where these choices ultimately led them in the end.